relationship.
Well, and a lot of girls don't realize that the nagging is so deep. Like that's men love through respect, right? And when you're like that's how they feel love. And when you're disrespecting a man, that's saying you don't love him,
Yep,
basically.
Yes.
literally. A woman can't love a man she doesn't respect. And
Facts.
it's weird because when men and women are saying their wedding vows or when they're committing to each other, whatever the case may be, there are back in the day, just about every woman fully intended on going through with their wedding vows. But these days, it could not be more different. It's really just kind of lip service, just to kind of say what you want to say. And now we have people rewriting their vows, and the whoever is in charge of the wedding, he sits there for 10 minutes and talks about everything that the man needs to do for her, that the husband needs to do for the wife. But then when it comes to the wife's responsibility, now it's crickets. That's just how it is these days.
Well, and that's why you see everyone asking what
Yeah, these women out here, they want traditional men, and they want men to fulfill their traditional masculine responsibilities like protect, provide, provision, but they don't want to do their feminine duties, which is be a good mother, be a good homemaker, obey your husband. They don't want to do any of that shit, but they still want you to open the door and do all that chivalry bullshit.
women what they bring to the table, and it's crickets.
Yeah, right, right. And it's interesting. What the question, what do you bring to the table, should be extended. What can you offer me that you have never given to another man?
Facts, because most of these women, when they decide to settle down, by that time they have a high body count. They're not virgins anymore. Forget that. They don't even have a low body count. Forget being a virgin. So they have high body counts, bad attitudes. Why would you want to commit to that?
Most women can't answer that question because most women have given their bodies to men, they've given them their time, they've given them children, they've given all of these other men all of these things, but then they expect a man to give them everything that we have to offer. I think we heard this on the Saucecast. It's meat. It's what is it? Money, energy, attention, and time. When women expect all of this money, energy, attention, and time for what? What, for them just being there? No, 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 no. You've given what you are offering to me is something that you've given to 474 other dudes. No, I need to know what you bring. I need to know what
474.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you.
420.
It might have been four. It might have been
403? 403.
403. Listen, whatever the case may be, there are some triple and quadruple digit hoes out here running these streets. And we will never, listen, you will never know what, hell, most women probably don't even know what their body counts are. But the point is that, dude, 99% of women out there don't bring anything to the table that they haven't brought to the table in every other relationship, which is PTA. And I'm not talking about the parent teacher association.
Yeah, I mean, this is where
Yeah, man. If your girlfriend is hot, attractive, or even average, she has a high body count. Trust and believe that.
this is where being average at best comes to your advantage, because you've got to like have some utility. You've got to bring something useful to the table, because it ain't looks, you know.
Well, and that's, well, this is what Devin's talking about. Devin's not the most attractive woman I've ever committed to. She's certainly the most useful. I've had some, listen, man, I've been with, dated, slept with some extremely attractive women in my day. And listen, some of them I liked, some of them I thought I loved, but in the end, good-looking women are useless because they've never really had to be useful, especially in this day and age. Most 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s are monetized or sponsored in some type of way.
I think Donovan is coping here a little bit. I think there are some attractive women who are useful and smart. They're harder to come by. I see the point he's making. It's because a hot woman, most hot women do not have to work very hard at anything in life because they're hot. They get by through life because they're hot. They get invited to places because they're hot. They get that job promotion because they're hot. So they never really have to exercise this muscle right here. But not all of them. I've been with some sexy bitches who are useful in other areas as well, other than the bedroom. So I think he's coping here a little bit. And that's one of my biggest problems with Donovan Sharp. I've watched a few of his shows. My issue with him is he says all this shit about you should not date older women. You should not date women with high body counts. You should not commit to them long term. But at the same time, his girlfriend, Devin, the woman on the right here, she's in her mid-40s. I think she's older than him. And he admits that she has a high body count. So I think he's coping here a little bit, if I'm honest. But I think overall Donovan says some good things. I agree with a lot of what he says. But in this case, he is coping. Because he couldn't land that attractive 25-year-old chick who's also useful.
That's not a slight on them. That's just the world we live in. Well, as an attractive woman, if you are given the world simply because of the way you look, what motivation is there to develop yourself outside of the way that you look? As a result, we have some extremely hollow, vapid, good-looking women out here who don't really bring much to the table except for good looks and drama. And a lot of guys, a lot of guys would kill for good looks and drama for a little while. But as a man who has had a lot of experience with a lot of beautiful women, and I'm glad I had that experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world, and I would never say, well, I would never. No, I'm glad that I fucked a bunch of hot bitches. But by the same token, the more you quickly sort of figure out that the more attractive a woman is, the less useful they tend to be. And people can say, "Oh, well, that's your excuse." Listen, man, say whatever you want. I'm happy in my relationship. I tell guys all the time.
It is your excuse,
if you're looking for a long,
I'm not saying maybe Devin is great as a partner. Nothing against her. She does seem polite and easy to get along with. So there's that. But my issue with Donovan is when he says to his viewers, "You shouldn't be long-term committing to women with high body count or women who are older." And I kind of agree with him on that. I do agree with him on that. But at the same time, it's hypocritical for him to sit here with his 45-year-old girlfriend who has a high body count, even according to him, and say all this shit. So that's my take on that.
Relationship or someone to commit to, dude, 8s, 9, dude, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s belong to the game, man. Look in the 5 to 6 range. Look for a girl who's in the 5 to 6 range who becomes maybe a 7 or an 8 behind closed doors.
So, Devin, what was your biggest challenge when I'm assuming your
Devin looks a little upset because Donovan basically just called her a 5 or a 6. You can see it on her face. Well, at least there's some honesty there. I give Devin about a 6. She's a 6. Even though she's older, she's still fuckable.
This may have been more modern. Is that true or false?
May have been more what?
Modern?
Like, I'm assuming this is the most traditional relationship you've been in. I can't imagine, like...
I mean, yeah, if you want to put a label on it, yeah. I mean, my previous relationship where I was married for 15, we were together almost 20 years. So, you know, I didn't know that there was, like, a way to do this, you know. I thought the way that they teach you is the way that it goes, and you know, you go through life and you know, you don't cheat, and you try to make it work, right? And it's a little bit more complicated than that. I think that people overlook the importance of respect in a relationship.
Yes.
Because I don't think that women are capable of loving a man that they do not respect.
That's true.
And
100%.
women actually lose respect for their men by the way that they treat them. So finding a man who won't put up with any of the nonsense, won't put up with the wrong tone of voice, won't put up with, you know, me being disrespectful in any way, forces me into the position where I say, okay, you know, that's not, you know, that doesn't fly, that doesn't become a habit, and you know, we're consistent with one another. A lot of people don't have consistency in their relationships. The girl is sweet one day and she's a total, you know what, the next day, and
Biatch.
you know, the man just takes it. And
So
Don't take shit from these
So
bitches,
I was just curious
guys.
as to, was there a
I keep
learning-
saying that. Don't take shit from these hoes. They will respect you for it. They might not like it short term, and in the long term, they will respect you for standing up for yourself and not taking shit from them.
curve when
There was
you
a
first
video
Because if you take bullshit from a woman, her subconscious lizard brain is telling her, this guy's a punk. He's taking shit from me, a small, weak little female. What chance does he have against the world? That's what her biology is telling her when you take shit from a bitch.
So I was just curious, was there a learning curve when
There was
you
a
first?
video
Yeah. That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, I had a lot of bad habits that had to be almost literally like trained out of me. It was like, you know, you know, similar to the things like I said, like tone of voice.
Yep.
But even something like as simple as when we're in the car and he's driving, and you know, it's the, you know, to say, okay, hey, we need to turn left here, or like, no,
Backseat
left.
driver.
You know, yeah, like trying to, you know,
Mhm.
trying to be just being an annoying passenger.
A woman who respects you trusts your driving. I've driven fast in vehicles, and if a woman is into me, she's gonna trust my judgment. That's just how it is. A woman who actually trusts you and respects you, she'll let you drive. So what she's basically saying is initially she didn't trust him that much. She didn't trust his capability as a man, and that's what that is. Almost pretty. I can't think of a single situation where that's happened to me. The only person who does that to me is my mom. And then I even to my mom, I tell her, "Ma, be quiet. Let me drive. I'm driving. This is my car." Even to my mom, you can't take shit from nobody, man. Even your mom. That doesn't mean I don't respect my mother. That does not mean that, but I don't take shit from nobody, and my mom knows that too. She's probably watching this show. So you can't be taking shit from these bitches, man. And what she basically said is she didn't trust his judgment. Maybe she does now, but that's a red flag, man. If a woman right off the bat doesn't trust your judgment, she doesn't trust you as a man.
Basically, you know, anytime, like for example, Donna.
I have females who enjoy my driving, tell me to go faster because they trust my judgment. They trust my abilities as a man. They trust in my ability to keep them safe. And when women feel safe around you, they fucking and sucking.
Evan loves to leave like all of the cabinet doors open whenever he goes in the kitchen. Like everything's open, like the microwave's open, the freezer door.
I do
I'm
that
just
too.
kidding. Yeah,
That's not. I mean, what do you want?
yeah.
I mean, nobody's perfect.
And instead of me, you know, the old me would have been like, God, you're so lazy. Like, can you just close, or like to make a point, I'll slam them shut or something,
Oh,
or
hell
just,
no.
or you know, like, God, do you mind? Like, what's wrong with you? Now I'm just like, you know what? Let's take a step back and think about the grand scheme of things, okay? He provides, he protects, he, you know, he makes me laugh. Like we have a great life together. If all it takes is for me to close a couple cabinet doors every now and then, maybe I should just shut my mouth and do it. We need
You're
to
right about
really
that.
pick our battles, and a lot of women don't know how to do
No,
that.
because modern day women have been taught that you need to be equal. Never do anything for the explicit pleasure of a man. That's what they're taught. So of course they want to fight you on everything. Their natural instincts want to submit. But this societal programming has taught them that you need to be equal. You need to be equal to your man. And that shit never works. You need to be the leader as the man in the relationship.
Small potatoes are small potatoes. These are things that you got to learn to live with. And you know, like the small things that people do that like women just, oh my God, I can't stand it. He leaves the toilet seat up.
Oh my God, that's a deal breaker.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's just a shit test when bitches do that. When they tell you, "Oh, you didn't leave the toilet seat up." They're just seeing how much they can push you, because if you capitulate with that shit, then it's going to be something else, and they're going to nag you for your clothes or what you wear or your haircut. And then slowly they change you little by little, and then they stop being attracted to you. And then they're like, "Oh, you changed up." It's like, "Yeah, bitch, you wanted me to change." But they don't even realize what they've done. But so you can never let a woman lead the relationship. And it starts with small things. It starts with little shit tests, and then it progresses. You got to stop it at its source.
You know, like, hey, you're going to be alone for a very long time if you don't learn how to live with somebody. And I think a lot of people don't know how to moderate what they're willing to accept. Some women just end up accepting things that are extremely bad and won't accept a toilet seat up, but they'll accept, you know, him
Being an alcoholic.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah. Women have it's a little convoluted.
Well, it's convoluted because women are under the impression, the reason why women are so picky and selective, and women have to be the more selective gender. This is just how it is. There are biological reasons involved. I'm not going to get into that. But women have become so selective that it's almost like they take themselves off the market. They are so inundated with option with what they
Like that woman I did that video on, who's a 2 out of 10, and she wants a $200,000 engagement ring.
they perceive to be long-term options day in day out, that they disqualify men for the most idiosyncratic things, just like Dev just said, leaving the
Because these bitches have the illusion of choice, because they have Instagram accounts, and where simps go, oh, you're so beautiful, and they get likes for like shitty pictures, average basic ass bitches. They get 50 to 100 likes on each picture, so their ego gets gassed up, and they get matches on Tinder because guys are just trying to fuck them. So they think because they have options to fuck, they must also have options for relationships. They only have options for fucking. They don't have any real options for relationships with men who they actually respect.
the toilet seat up, dude. And
Most of these bitches don't realize that shit till it's too late, and they've aged out of the market.
all the years I've ever known Deb, I leave the toilet seat up all the time. She has never, ever, ever said anything about it. I leave cabinets open all the time. She never has bitched and moaned about it. And the reason for that is because the life that I provide for her makes those things menial. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But women are always so picky, and they disqualify men for the smallest of infractions, only because they think they've got a line of men waiting to make their acquaintance. While that may be true, these men are interested only in short-term relationships. In other words, they're only really after them for sex. And the men that want them for more than just sex are not the men they want. Unfortunately for women, they don't figure this out until they're in their mid to late 30s and they've been dumped for the third time in 3 days.
That's exactly what I was saying. So yeah, guys, that's exactly what I said at the end there. I agree with Donovan Sharp on a lot of things, but he is a little bit hypocritical when it comes to preaching about not dating older women, but he has a live-in relationship with an older female. She's still kind of attractive, to be honest. Like, I would definitely hit it, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that's the end of the show. That clip was taken from the Just Pearly Things podcast. Give Pearl a follow. She's one of the few females on YouTube actually telling the truth, and she's actually an intelligent person. I fuck with Pearl. One day I'm gonna have her on this podcast. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you motherfuckers in the next one.